All right. Hey, good morning, guys. Hopefully, everyone is here, can hear me. You can see I'm at home. Uh, yeah, I was not feeling super great. I don't have like COVID or anything, more like a stomach thing. So, got on a little bit late, moved a little bit slow, but I am using my computer at home. But I put a new hard drive in this thing, so that that's good. Should should work well. If you guys remember, I was using this computer a lot and it was failing and lagging and it wouldn't work. And um, so I read online that you could slow or you could speed up a computer by replacing the hard drive. So I was going to show you a picture here. So I took the screen off of my iMac, which was kind of crazy. So here's what that looks like. Let's see this one here. There you go. So you can see right here, I cut the screen off of my iMac, and you use like a knife and a bunch of stuff, and then the screen pops off, and you end up with this. And then this right in here was the old hard drive, so you can see it there. And then I put in a new hard drive. Oh, that's not it. I went the wrong way. Let's see if it's this one. That's weird how the picture is before. Oh, there we go. All right, so there's the new hard drive. You can see 1 terabyte SSD. And this computer is a lot faster, so that's awesome. All right, well, we'll get rid of this now. The other thing I wanted to pull up here real quick is our list for hiking and biking. So that's going to come up here. And as you can see, we had quite a lot of people. Quite a lot of people sign up. So we have 17 people. Well, actually, it's only 16 counting me. So that's not terrible. I thought maybe 10 would be the max for hiking. It looks like Silas wants to ride bikes but not hike. And so we got me for biking, Henry, Georgia, Keegan, Sophia, Silas, and Eli. So for the biking, that's some music. We don't need the music. And then a few other people for the hiking. And I think that'll work. So for the hiking, I'm thinking we'll probably hike Thursday, either Mondays or Thursdays. And I think we're going to do it in place of this Bible reading. So what we'll do is we'll go hiking and then we'll read the Bible on the hike. So, if you're a regular attender for the morning Bible reading, I can try to like live stream from my phone from wherever we end up hiking to, but it's probably not going to be at 9 because we'll probably meet at 9 to hike. The reason we got to hike in the morning is because it's hot. Like, it's really hot. And I'm fine hiking in the heat. Like, I ride my bike miles and miles and miles and when it's like 100 degrees. But most people aren't built or accustomed to the heat like I am. And especially you guys who are young. I don't want to take a bunch of you guys out into the heat and risk somebody dying or having heat exhaustion or something like that. So, the weather, yeah, so like right now it's 10, and it's already 82 degrees. And you can see that by like noon today, it's 91. So it's definitely wise to hike in the morning. So this Thursday will be 91 as a high. So if we meet at 9 o'clock to hike, We can hike for like 2 hours. We'll be done by 11, and it should still be only 88. So then my goal for the hiking club, the hiking group, would be to hike. I think school's starting in September. I don't. When does school start for you guys in like public school? I'm not sure. But anyway, my goal would be to start hiking probably this week on Thursday, and we'll do a hike a week, round anywhere from like 2 to 5 miles, and then we will. Oh, August 10th. Wow, that starts early. Anyway, we'll do that. We'll figure it out whoever can come, and then we will do like a big hike, and I'm thinking like San Gorgonio or something like that. That's an 18-mile hike. So that'll take all day. It's 18 miles. And then those who are like in shape and who want to do it can go. August 6th. Wow. That's crazy that school's like starting back up. All right, so I mean we might have to shift that to the weekend, and do it less often if that's possible.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry.
So it's all right. Have fun.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Everyone.
All right. Well, and then the bike riding. Man, same thing. It's better to ride in the morning because it's cool, but there's nothing open, and so we usually ride to somewhere and then get ice cream or something. So if we ride down Palm, there's a lot of tree covering, and if we don't exert ourselves too much, we can ride to like La Michoacana. But I think I'm going to hold off on that for one more week because the indoor kind of quarantine face mask thing should be lifting in a week. Because on the first, Newsom said 3 weeks, which would be 21 days. He was going to put in the shut down all the dining rooms, mandatory face masks, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that'll lift, and then next week, like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday maybe, we can hit up a bike ride. I guess the other option is we could ride after youth group. Like if we just cut youth group, because everybody's supposed to leave anyway, we could ride at like 7:15 down to get some ice cream. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. All right, let's get into the Bible. I do have to open Logos. I forgot to do that before I started Ecamm, and this is the thing that always like kicks everything off. So we'll see if it lags. So it might lag. It might lag a bit here, but stand by. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. I want this one. All right. Hey, Sophia. No, it's not almost done. I spent a lot of time talking about hiking and biking and what we're going to do, how we're going to do that. So I think our first hike is going to be Thursday. Sophia, if you want to hike with us. The hikes are going to be harder than the biking, for sure. The biking will be easy. Hiking will be strenuous. All right, look, we got Logos. Came up. Sweet. So I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, cool. Well, that's great. It's working. All right, we got 105. We had our joke about the wonton desire. And I should just highlight that whole thing because it's so awesome. So awesome. All right. They had a wonton craving in the wilderness. All right. And that's where we ended. So let's go ahead and get to Psalm 107. And we'll begin reading. So let me pray. for our hike, probably 9 o'clock. We'll meet at Bogart Park at 9 o'clock. That's my plan. So, yeah, because we can't ride anybody in anybody's vehicles because of COVID. So you're gonna have to meet there if you're gonna hike. So we'll meet at the entrance of Bogart Park, and then we'll hike in. There's 3 hikes that we'll do at Bogart, and then we'll probably do Wildwood after that, Wildwood Canyon, because that's pretty close too. That's like a 15-minute drive. And the hikes will be probably 2 hours, if I had to take a guess, which would be about 6 miles. Bogart Park, it's straight up Cherry Avenue. Like if you just go up Cherry and you just keep driving, you'll crash into Bogart. So it's like 10 minutes, 8 minutes drive from the church. And the only reason it takes so long from the church is because there's so many stop signs. It's only like 2 miles from the church, but there's a lot of stop signs. So, all right, let's read. Hiking first. We're going to hike Thursday. We won't bike until next week because we usually bike to a restaurant, and all the restaurants are closed right now. All right, so Psalm 107. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Oh, that's so I always tell you songs. So there's an Israel Houghton song that goes, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Say so, say so, say so. That's a good song. You should look that up. Yeah, it's very simple. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Anyway, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he has redeemed from trouble and gathered in from the lands, from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south. Some wandered in the desert wastes, finding no way to a city to dwell in, hungry and thirsty. Their soul fainted within them. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He led them by a straight way, till they reached a city to dwell in. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. For he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul fills with good things. Some sat in darkness and in the shadow of death, prisoners in affliction and in irons, for they had rebelled against the words of God and spurned the counsel of the Most High. So he bowed their hearts down with hard labor. They fell down with none to help. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He brought them out of the darkness and the shadow of death, and burst their bones apart. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man, for he shatters the doors of bronze and cuts in two the bars of iron. Some were fools through their sinful ways, and because of their iniquities suffered affliction. They loathed any kind of food, and they drew near to the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He sent out his word, and he healed them, and delivered them from their destruction. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man, and let them offer sacrifices of thanksgiving, and tell of his deeds in songs of joy. Some went down to the sea in ships, doing business on the great waters. They saw the deeds of the Lord, his wondrous works in the deep, for he commanded and raised the stormy wind, which lifted up the waves of the sea. They mounted up to heaven. They went down to the depths. Their courage melted away in their evil plight. They reeled and staggered like drunken men, and were at their wits' end. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. He made the storm be still, and the waves of the sea were hushed. Then they were glad that the waters were quiet, and he brought them to their desired haven. Let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. Let them extol him in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the assembly of the elders. He turns rivers into a desert, springs of water into thirsty ground, a fruitful land into a salty waste. Because of the evil of its inhabitants, he turns a desert into pools of water, a parched land into springs of water. And there he lets the hungry dwell, and they establish a city to live in. They sow fields and plant vineyards and get fruitful yield. By his blessing they multiply greatly. He does not let their livestock diminish. When they are diminished and brought low, through oppression, evil, and sorrow, he pours contempt on princes and makes them wander in trackless wastes. But he raises up the needy out of affliction and makes their families like flocks. The upright see it and are glad, and all wickedness shuts its mouth. Whoever is wise, let him attend to these things. Let them consider the steadfast love of the Lord. All right. So when we're reading the Bible, let's read the Bible. We'll talk about bikes later on. Just because I know it's distracting to be having a conversation. It's hard to be paying attention to what's actually being read when you're thinking about the bikes and, hiking and all that. I can answer questions more about that later. Or you can just go back and watch the video where I talked a lot about that at the beginning. So let me pause and answer these questions so that I can kind of stop your guys' conversation. And then we'll read some Samuel. Because that was a long psalm. And 108. I guess 108 is short. I'll read 108. And then we'll go to Samuel. Okay. So Sophia said, where's the park at? I answered that one. I said the hiking is first. Would we be biking in the mountains? If so, I need a mountain bike to do it. No. We're not going to bike in the mountains. I'm not, even though I coach mountain biking and I'm able to help everyone, there are not really any trails around here that are close and super accessible for beginners as far as mountain biking is concerned. And so, no, we will not be mountain biking. Now, you can ride a mountain bike on the road. That's fine. We most likely, for safety reasons, especially if I'm taking a group of people who, all don't bike very often, especially in the street, we will most likely ride down Palm Avenue on the sidewalk in the center of the road there. It's super safe. You can't get hit by a car. And we will most likely ride to La Michoacana and get ice cream or popsicles and then ride home. So we won't be doing any trail riding unless I get a group of people who are a little bit more experienced and they want to do a mountain bike ride. I can do that. But it's just, I've been riding bikes for a long time with a lot of people, and I don't think it's wise. I think we have a better shot of hiking than we do of putting a bunch of people on bikes and trying to ride mountain bike trails together. So we're probably doing road biking, and you can get away if you just have a cruiser or something with one gear. You'll be a little bit slower than everybody else, but you'll make it. Some people did it on cruisers last year. If you got gears, that's better because you can climb easier and ride faster and all that kind of stuff. All right. So just because it has gears and suspension, it's a lot easier with mountain bike, harder on trails, Pastor Mike said. Yeah, so, you can bring your beach bike, Sophia. I mean, it's up to you. You're going to work harder if you bring a beach bike because you're going to have to pedal a lot more because you only got one gear. If you got more gears, then you can shift them and stuff like that. But you'll be okay on your cruiser. We're not going to go that far. And as Brett said, or Jaden said, we will tailor the rides to whoever shows up. And we will ride according to the weakest person's ability. So, I'm not going to ask you guys to ride to my ability, because I would probably be the highest ability, and that wouldn't be fair. If I was like, hey guys, we're going to ride 100 miles today, you'd be like, psh, that's impossible. But if we ride to the weakest person, then even the fastest person can keep up with them. So don't worry. Also, you may grow a little bit and get some more skills. So that's all the stuff we need to know about the bike. It's going to be fine. If we want to do like a specific mountain bike ride, we could do that. All right, we'll talk about it as we gather with bikes. So Bogart, where we're going to hike, I ride my mountain bike there all the time. The trails are great. There's a couple of sections that are difficult, but I think I took Chris there, and we mountain biked there a few times. He crashed on one of the sections, so there is definitely a place where you can crash. But we'll talk about that. All right, let's read Psalm 108, and then we'll read Samuel, and we got to be done. And I'll send an email out with more information about the hiking and the biking, and you can read everything that you want to in that email. Psalm 108. My heart is steadfast, O God. I will sing and make melody with all my being. Awake, O harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations. For your steadfast love is great above the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth, that your beloved ones might be delivered. Give salvation by your right hand and answer me. God has promised in his holiness. With exultation I will divide up Shechem and portion out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine. Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my helmet. Judah my scepter. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. This is a weird line. Look at that. Upon Edom I cast my shoe. Okay. Who will bring me to the fortified city, and who will lead me to Edom? Have you not rejected us, O God? You do not go out, O God, with our armies. O grant us help against the foe, for vain is the salvation of man, and with God we shall do valiantly. It is he who will tread down our foes. All right, we'll stop there. We'll go to Samuel. All right, it's kind of crazy. We're almost done with the book of Samuel. It's amazing. All right, so we read the story of David and Goliath. That was interesting. I thought it was interesting. Yep, I'm going to throw my shoes at them Edomites. All right, let's do 18. David and Jonathan's friendship. Cool. All right. As soon as he had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David, because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt. And David went out and was successful wherever Saul sent him, so that Saul set him over the men of war. And this was good in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. As they were coming home, when David returned from striking down the Philistine, the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul with tambourines, with songs of joy, and with musical instruments. And the women sang to one another as they celebrated, Saul has struck down his thousands, and David his 10,000s. I don't know how that song went. And Saul was very angry. And the saying displeased him, and he said, They have ascribed to David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed thousands. And what more can he have but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day on. The next day a harmful spirit from God rushed upon Saul, and he raved within his house while David was playing the lyre, as he did day by day. And Saul had his spear in his hand, and Saul hurled the spear, for he thought, I will pin David to the wall. But David evaded him twice. Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him, but he had departed from Saul. So Saul removed him from his presence and made him a commander of thousands. And when he went out and came in before the people, and David had success in all his undertakings, for the Lord was with him. And when Saul saw that he had great success, he stood in fearful awe of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, for he went out and came in before them. Then Saul said to David, "Here is my elder daughter Merab. I will give her to you for a wife. Only be valiant for me, and fight the Lord's battles." For Saul thought, "Let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of the Philistines be against him." And David said to Saul, "Who am I? And who are my relatives, my father's clan in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?" But at the time where Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, she was given to Adriel, the Mahalathite, for a wife. Now Saul's daughter, Michal, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul thought, "Let me give her to him, that she may be a snare for him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him." Therefore Saul said to David a second time, "You shall now be my son-in-law." And Saul commanded his servants, "Speak to David in private and say, 'Behold, the king has delight in you, and all his servants love you. Now then, become the king's son-in-law.'" And Saul's servants spoke to those words in the ears of David. And David said, "Does it seem to you a little thing to become the king's son-in-law? Since I am a poor man, I have no reputation." And the servants of Saul told him, "Thus and so did David speak." Then Saul said, "Thus shall you say to David, the king desires no bride price except 100 foreskins of the Philistines, that he may be avenged of the king's enemies." Now Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. Before the time had expired, David arose and went, along with his men, and killed 200 of the Philistines. And David brought their foreskins, which were given in full number to the king, that he might become the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him his daughter Michal for a wife. And when Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David, and that Michal, or you could pronounce it Michael, I guess, Saul's daughter, loved him, Saul was even more afraid of David. So Saul was David's enemy continually. Then the commanders of the Philistines came out to battle, and as often as they came out, David had more success than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was highly esteemed. All right, man, this is a blush-worthy chapter of the Bible, huh? So, yeah, Saul kind of goes nuts because David is kind of the fan of the people. Saul has struck down his thousands, David has 10,000. So Saul really could have praised David too and said, "Yeah, David's great. Good for David. Hooray for David." But instead, Saul got jealous, and then he's trying to kill him, so he keeps sending him out to battle the Philistines, hoping that they'll kill him. It doesn't work out. Then he marries Michal, and then all this business that's going on right in here that I'm not really gonna explain too much. If you don't know what's going on there, ask your parents. All right, so chapter 19 we'll hit tomorrow. So we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday Bible reading, and then Thursday I think hiking, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so nice shoe joke there, Rachel. I like it. You know I love the puns. All right. So, yeah, that was a good one. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me for Bible reading this morning. Sorry we started a hair late, and like I said, just kind of feeling a little stomach weirdness. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully, I'll be fine by the afternoon, but you never know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll send out some more links and some more information about hiking and where we're going to be. So Bogart Park is where we'll meet Yeah, I could pull that up real quick if you guys. Let me just show you, and then I'll let you go. So let me go to Google Maps, and I'll pull that up for you. Okay. All right. So again, here we go. Here's Google Maps. Google Maps. It's loading up. All right. So here we are, right here. Let's see. We're zooming in. All right. This is where I live here. So here's Fellowship Church. Okay. Yeah. So there's Fellowship right here. Okay. So to get to Bogart, all you do is go out of Fellowship. You got to go out the first drive and make a left. Okay, you're going to drive down Oak Valley Parkway till this stop sign right here. Then you're going to make a left on Cherry. And you're going to go up Cherry like this. Okay, you just keep going up Cherry. Keep going up Cherry. Keep going up Cherry. Boom. There's Bogart Park. Right there. Okay? If you've never been to Bogart Park, it's awesome. Let me show you on the satellite view. So here's Bogart. I'm going to zoom in. Zoom in, zoom in. Now you can start to see all the trails. Okay? So you can see right here, there's a trail. This is a fun one to ride your mountain bike on. But I wouldn't take you guys on it because it's too steep. But so there's a trail there, right there. Okay? And then it goes deep into here. And there's trails all right here. You can hike all the way up to the top of this mountain right here. And there's a ridge trail. There's all these trails that go in here. So, and in fact, when I ride my mountain bike, if anybody wants to do this, it's kind of gnarly. But you can ride up this street right here, which is Mile High Road. It's quite a climb. So you ride up Mile High Road, and then right here, let's see. I guess it's further up here. All right. So you ride up Mile High Road, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, all the way, and then right here, there's a fire road. You drop down this fire road, and then there's a trail, which is a cool trail. There's a beehive on it, you gotta watch out. But that trail is dirt from here, all the way up here, all the way down through this ravine, all the way back down to the bottom of Bogart Park. And super fun. So, if you want to try that one. Don't say I didn't warn you, though. It's super fun, but it's tough. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, there's no creeps, and I won't make this video public. Once it's gone, I'll just delete this one. All right. So you don't have to worry. So, all right. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you all tomorrow.